This video reviews how to create mailing pieces, mailing lists, and mailing campaigns. It goes hand in hand with the other videos available for managing your mailings. First, click on the Mailings and Emails section on the main menu bar, and then go to the Mailing Piece Library. This will display all of the mailing pieces that you have defined. They can be sorted according to the category in which you have classified them, or possibly by type or the date that you created them. To create a new mailing piece, click on the Compose button. We are going to look at one which has already been defined so that we can work through how you can edit your mailing piece and manage the photos. Click on the name of the mailing piece to open it. Here you will see many of the familiar icons that you work with in other word processing programs. Of course, your mailing piece needs a name so that it can be stored in the system. If it's an email, you will also want to give it a subject line for your readers to see. And again, if it's an email, be sure to include the canned spam disclosure. This includes an automatic unsubscribe link at the bottom of the email and your address. Both of those are required by law now for your marketing emails to be processed. In this mailing, you notice we have some text at the top and some merge fields. A merge field will automatically pull data from your database to insert into the mailing. You might use Dear Client First Name, for instance, or you may prefer to use the salutation which you have put into your database, such as Dear Tom and Mary. Here we have a picture of a house that is recently listed with us and some information on the property. Notice it's a little hard to work with in this more cramped environment. There's an icon here that will toggle us to the full screen mode. This makes it easier to manage our mailing as we design it. I'd like to have the text be at the top right of my picture. To do that, I'm going to click on the picture and then the Edit Picture icon to open up the editing options. I can give the image a description which will display when the user has not turned on display images in their email. Many email client programs nowadays do not display images by default, so it's always a good idea to have some text that will display when they are absent. Clicking on the Appearance tab will give me many choices on how to align my text. Remember, we are actually aligning the picture relative to the text. If I want my text to be on the top right, I want my picture to be to the left. Now notice, though, that the text is very close to the edge of the image. I can add some horizontal space, let's say 10 pixels, to move that text a little bit off to the right so that it doesn't crowd the picture. If I want to make the picture a specific dimension, I can just enter the dimensions directly into the fields here. I could also put a border around my picture if I desired. A 2-pixel border is sometimes good. Let's go with this. That looks a little bit better. The picture, though, maybe I want to downsize that a little bit. I could go back into the editor and downsize it, or I can just drag it on screen here to change its dimensions. I might want to move this down so that it's a little more in line with the picture, and then bring this down so that the room dimensions and descriptions are below it. I think I'll also maybe add a horizontal line between these elements. Also, I think the title needs a little fixing up. Let's highlight it, and very similar to how you work in Word, let's make that bold. Let's choose a nice green font, and let's make it quite a bit larger. And we can also center it. There are many other things that you can do with the editor. You can upload a series of pictures into your system so that they're always available and you don't have to search your computer for them every time. That would be done with this icon, and this brings up your image library. Just clicking on an image will bring it into your email. In addition to the merge fields, a couple of the items that are really important for you to know about are when you paste from Word, this tool will help you to retain the formatting of your original Word document. You can also highlight some text and put a web link behind it. So if we wanted this to go to mynewhomes.com, we can have a link there instead of just plain text. If you are very sophisticated, you can jump into the HTML code which underlies the mailing piece. This is also a great way to bring into your system those mailings which you already have access to the HTML code for. Again, the toggle button brings you in and out of the full screen mode. You should exit the full screen mode when you want to save your email. Another feature is that you can upload files to be included with your email as attachments, just like a regular email that you send. Click Save when you're finished to save your changes. After your email is completed, you will want to be able to send it out to people, possibly through a mailing list of multiple clients. Again, click on the link to view a mailing list, or click on the X to delete that mailing list. RealFutureCRM Pro Edition gives you the ability to create dynamic mailing lists. A dynamic mailing list allows you to define the parameters of your mailing list, similar to how you define a saved MLS search. You specify by category what types of clients are to be in the mailing list, and RealFutureCRM will automatically keep your mailing list up to date as your underlying database changes. First, let's look at the manual mailing list. This is a standard mailing list which would be similar to just a list of people from your database. You can use several of the tools to help you build your database initially. Of course, you need to give the mailing list a name, and you may give it a description. You could search for individual contacts or make the mailing list build by selecting different categories from your database. If I wanted this mailing list, for instance, to include all my buyers' prospects, I could select Buyer and click Display Matches. The system will go through my database and grab everyone who's been indicated as having the interest to buy a property. I can deselect anyone I want from my mailing list, and then click to add these records to my list. When my list is satisfactory, I save it. Now let's take a look at the dynamic mailing list. Click Dynamically Updated, and again we will give this a name. Here there are many options that you can use to select how your mailing list is defined. For instance, we may want to include only clients who have listings which are active. RealFuture then will keep a mailing list built of every active listing in my database. I might want to have this mailing go out to just agents or brokers and so on who are in my database. We can also build the database from other parameters in our contact record. We may want a database that is built up and consists of only investors. It's always good to be able to target your emails as specifically as possible to the interest of your clients. This makes the emails that you send of greater interest to your clientele and increases the chances that they'll be opened and read. Again, we may select any number of additional categories to include. Remember that the more categories you select, just like an MLS search, the fewer results you're going to see. But if you want to increase the number of results of matches from your database, you can set it so that includes any of the criteria instead of all of the criteria. So along with investors, I might want to add a criteria that they are a new lead. Again, I could say that they are buyers. I could select a time frame, so on and so forth. Again, display the matches to see who qualifies for the parameters you have selected. Once they select, you'll notice you cannot deselect them because the list is going to be automatically updated every time it's used. So if you deselected one now, they would likely be put back into the mailing list when it was next activated for a mailing. Next, we're going to look at how to build a campaign template. Click on Campaign Templates and the Create button. First, you want to give the campaign template a name. Here's where you can select to require manual confirmation before each mailing piece in the campaign is sent. Next, you want to select the mailing pieces which will comprise your campaign. Here, just select the mailing piece that you want to send and enter the number of days from the mailing date's start date that this piece will be sent. Entering 0 sends it out on the day that the campaign is created. Entering a 1 will send it out the first day after the start date of the campaign. Select more of your mailing pieces for your campaign with the cycle that you want them to go out. Matters not what order you select them in. You can also specify a specific date for a mailing to go out. Once you've selected all of your mailing pieces for the campaign, save your template. That's all it takes to set up a campaign, which now is available for you to use when you are creating a new contact. You can select this campaign to be attached and assigned to them, or it can be assigned and attached to a mailing list. To do that, we would create an actual campaign. Here you have the options of building your campaign by using an existing template or to build one from scratch without a template. If you select to build the campaign from an existing template, you will be asked to specify the template which you want to use. It displays the campaign that you previously defined and then asks you to either provide a mailing list, or you can select a specific contact from your database by entering a few of the last letters of their name and selecting your contact. Select the start date for your campaign and save it. Sending out a mailing blast is very similar. You specify the name of the blast, who it is going to be sent to, such as a mailing list, the one mailing piece which is going to be sent, because a mailing blast, after all, is one mailing going out to multiple people, the date on which it's going to be sent, and you also have the option to send this immediately once you save it. Save your blast, and it will automatically be processed as it comes due. This completes our section on how to create mailing pieces, mailing lists, and mailing campaigns.